I think some of us are stuck in La La Land. And when you're stuck in La La Land, you don't see the progress. So even if you win, you lose. And I think that's the whole concept of it. Because you make progress, but you don't see any progress. But that's because you're stuck in La La Land. In this figurative of imagination where you want to see the result straight away. And that's not how things work. Or even when you get the results, it's because it's not the result you wanted. You go ahead and say, "Oh, I'm here," and I think that's a big issue with a lot of us, and until we realize, like, change is a slow evolving thing. It's literally a slow thing that happens. It's not something that happens overnight or even in the span of a month. But you can tell the progress. And that's the thing. When you get out of La La Land, you do realize that you're not the person you was yesterday. But you're not the person you want to be tomorrow. But at least you know you're not the person you are not yesterday. And that's the philosophy behind everything. I think getting out of La La Land is the beginning. And seeing the actual progress that you make, or we make. And even sometimes you already accomplish something, but you're trying to sometimes you accomplish something and now you see your counterpart and you're like, oh, I want to do that. And it can't work like that. You have to be in your own lane, have your own progress, have your own passion. You can't compete with the next man or the next woman. You just gotta keep going. And because you have to realize, if you that's how you end up back in La La Land, where even if you win, you lose, because you don't see accomplishment as an accomplishment. So you just have to realize change is a change is a slow evolving thing that happens towards the durations of life. In your lifetime, you're gonna change as you go, as you get older. But you can't expect to be 30 at 25 and vice versa. And sometimes you might be left behind. Sometimes, life happens, things happen, and you're left behind. And that's perfectly fine, but don't be behind for too long and start playing catch up. But for the most part, for now, there's literally like no solution to getting out of Ireland, if I'm being honest. It's just something you have to see and realize. Because, as I've said before, there's no formula to this thing called life. It's just about how you maneuver. It's about how you play. You get lucky, you don't get lucky. Life goes on still. Life don't stop for no man or no woman. So, the sooner I realize, the better, And I don't think it's the metrics. I don't think La La Land is the metrics, because I feel like that's a whole different concept of life. I feel like La La Land is just the individual choosing not to see the accomplishment. The individual choosing to let things suppress them. That's not really an value to the who they are as individual. You let whatever they did determine how you do. Judgment, think you either qualify or overqualify, not having the confidence to do such and such. That's why I feel like that's La La Land. I feel like La La Land is something you can actually get out of. You know. But it's beautiful. If you look on the positive sides of things, even if you are drowning in the ocean, knowing that you're gonna learn how to swim eventually is the beauty of it. Being chased, being chased by a lion, knowing eventually you're gonna end up outrunning or you have to face and fight it. It's the little things in life, the beauty to it, that convey this glimpse of glamourate that we habituate to life, and just gotta live it. Realize you're stuck in La La Land, and that's about time you get out of La La Land. It's time you learn to swim. If you don't panic, you're gonna float. That's what people realize. People say you gotta swim with the sharks. If you don't panic in water, you don't sink. You float. If you throw a baby in the water, they're gonna float because they're not panicking. And the same thing can be accurate to life. As long as you don't panic, you're always going to float. But it's a matter of time where you learn how to swim now. It's the little things, It's the beauty. In a flower and the sunset, the baby being born, the day you actually see the progress you have made. It's those little risks you take that counts towards the individual you end up being. And I just think it's beautiful, innit? The person you are 5 years ago is not the same person you are today. And the person you are today is not going to be the same person you are in the next 5 years. If you just take it a day by day, take little risk by risk, eventually you're gonna get out of La La Land. And I think that's the beauty of all of it. Getting out, realizing it was all just a dream. Alright.